Hi guys, today I'm doing a video that's been requested, and that is how I stay healthy. I've talked about in a couple of videos about eating better and things like that, and staying healthy is really hard. And I'm not the idea of health, I'm not the picture of health in any way, shape, or form. I'm actually quite unhealthy a lot of the time, but I think that being healthy is all about balance. Obviously, this is something that's so different to everyone. Some people think it's, being vegan, some people think it's eating as much protein as possible. Well, everyone has their different idea, but if you don't know where to start, or you're just curious about what I do, then I guess I can throw you a little bit of my history and just what I'm currently doing to feel good in my own skin and feel like I'm being healthy. So I think it's more about finding what's right for you, what makes you feel good. This is not about body type or body image whatsoever. It's not about losing weight or gaining weight. To start off, the number one thing I do to help myself stay as healthy as possible, make my skin clear, my hair feel better, not just my face skin either, all my skin feel more hydrated and glowy, is drinking water. It seems so obvious, but honestly, water. There's nothing better, I think, than drinking a lot of water. And sometimes you can drink too much water. Me and my dad both have this thing where if we drink too much water and don't balance it out with enough food, that we get very kind of lightheaded. So watch out, but drink a good amount of water. Every time you have a meal, drink at least one of those bottles. I don't think 8 glasses is a good idea. I think that everyone is different, but you can look up easily on Google to search your weight, height, or whatever, your age, I think, and I'll tell you how much water you should be drinking every day. Next is food. I think when it comes to food, obviously this is so personal, but for me, I have some issues with dairy, and anytime I eat meat, any kind of animal products, I don't feel good. Seafood is different. I'm very good with seafood, so definitely shrimp, salmon, crabs, lobster is something I will not stop eating. When it comes to burgers, beef, chicken, anything pork, I will eat bacon and ribs and steak, and I eat meat. I'm not a vegetarian by any means, but I probably eat meat 2 to 3 days a week. I don't know how you would really put that, but I think even cutting back that much is kind of not only helping with the environment, but it does make you feel better. I noticed that what I do is I don't deprive myself. I think that's the best way I can keep myself healthy, because no matter how healthy you eat, if you just limit yourself to fruits and vegetables and you think you're being so healthy, if you feel like you can't have something that you want and you're depriving yourself, I don't think you're going to be happy. That's just me, I try to avoid dairy and things like that, but if I really just want some cheese, I'm just going to eat it. If I'm bored and walking around the kitchen looking for a snack, I'll try to grab carrot sticks or an apple. But if I'm actually starving or craving chocolate cake all week, I'm just gonna get it. I think it's all about, I sound stupid, but moderation and not eating too much of something and not overindulging, but indulging when you want to. Pretty much most of my breakfast in the morning is either oatmeal, or I have whole grain toast with peanut butter and banana with some cinnamon on it. That's my general breakfast most days. But some days I am lazy and I will just grab some toaster strudels from the freezer and throw them in the toaster and put the icing on them. Some days I'll have some granola with fruit, and other days I'll have a freaking Pop-Tart. It really depends. If my mom brings home pastries, I'm having a cinnamon roll for breakfast. And then lunch, I'll try to do some kind of a sandwich if I'm having meat that day. I don't go into my days thinking I'm not having meat today. It just kind of happens that way. If I'm not having a sandwich, I usually have pasta for lunch, cut up some tomatoes with olive oil, garlic. Garlic is one of my favorite things ever. It's actually really good for you, so I put garlic in just everything I eat. But for lunch, I usually have some kind of pasta. Also in a pan with some olive oil, garlic. Sometimes I'll throw in spinach or broccoli or tomatoes or zucchini. It depends what vegetables we have in the house. And then I have snacks throughout the day. One of my go-to snacks that makes me feel good, that doesn't make me feel like I'm indulging but still tastes delicious, is the Boom Chicken Pop sea salt popcorn from Angie's. I also switched out regular butter since butter goes in a lot of food, and I cook a lot myself. So I switched out from butter to using olive oil a lot, because that is one of the healthier oils, and I use the Earth Balance soy-free vegan butter, I guess is what you call it. A lot of those vegetable oil butters, like margarine and stuff, have a lot of soy in them, and that much soy is not good for my skin. A lot of people actually have allergies to soy. If you have issues with acne, you might want to just cut out soy for a while and dairy and see what happens, because I did that for a month completely and my skin went so clear. But now I just cut back on it and it really helps my skin a lot. I also don't drink any milk whatsoever. Also, if you're going to do almond milk, don't get the sweetened one. There's no point. You might as well just make a milkshake at that point. Just get the unsweetened original, not even vanilla. I think it's gross. I get the unsweetened original. It's the healthiest way to go. I definitely think about what you're doing. You might think you're making a healthy choice, but you're not. So one thing I would recommend when it comes to picking out your food, read the ingredients list. If you're thinking, oh, this drink sounds so healthy, it's all fruit, look at the amount of sugar in it. And look about if it says added sugar. Make sure anything you're buying, like a fruit smoothie or green juice, make sure they say no added sugars, because at that point you might as well just go to McDonald's and get a milkshake. You really want to make sure that you're reading the label properly and not just the front of the label. Read the nutrients, read all the ingredients, how much fat, saturated fat, things like that. I also try to eat as organic as I can. So, you know, when we buy vegetables, we'll go to like a local farmer's market where we know things are, you know, made locally and not with a bunch of chemicals. I definitely eat a lot of fruit. If you ever want something sweet, go for fruit. Go for unsweetened dried fruit is really great too. I definitely think staying away from animal products is healthier, and that is just my opinion, but I just think it makes you feel better. Like if you don't know and you think like you're skeptical about it, just try not to eat meat or dairy, any kind of animal product for 1 week. Just do it for 1 week. And I can tell you, although you might feel, I guess kind of, it depends if you need iron in your diet and things like that. But for me, when I cut out dairy and meat completely, I feel lighter. Like not like weight-wise, but I just feel less groggy. I think that when you first cut out, like it makes such a big drastic change like that, maybe go down gradually. So if you have meat every single day for lunch and dinner, maybe just go down every other day for lunch, and then go down to none for lunch, and then just dinner, and then every other day for dinner, and see how you feel. Because for me, it made such a big difference. Now whenever I eat meat, like when I'm really craving a steak, I'll have it, but then I don't feel good after, you know. Or if I'm really craving like some kind of gorgeous gooey macaroni and cheese, like I will eat it because it's so enjoyable. But within a half hour, I feel goopy and gross. You can tell that it's not good for you the way you feel after you eat it. Just pay attention to how you feel after you eat certain foods, because it can really open your eyes to what's healthier and what's not for you. You don't have to completely cut out, but cutting back I think is really great when it comes to extra added sugars, whether it's bakery items or if it's meat or dairy, anything like that, anything that's like not completely fresh and it's anything that's processed or anything, cut down, and I think you'll feel better. And once you cut down, it's easier. But I think it comes with a lot of willpower and knowing like, okay, this is my chance to indulge, I'm not turning this down, but the rest of the day should be relatively healthier. But carrying on, another thing that I think helps me stay healthy is having the Fitbit. Obviously that's an expensive choice, you don't have to have a Fitbit, but like some kind of app that does what the Fitbit app does, tracks your calories, your steps, things like that. You can just do that on like the health app on the iPhone, I'm not sure, but anything like that I think is just a good idea, just so you know that you're keeping everything in your head, if that makes sense. Like sometimes you just eat blindly and you're not thinking about it, but if you track your food, I think that's a really great way to stay on top of it. Whether you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, just eat healthier, eat cleaner, whatever you're trying to do, I think if you jot down what you eat, it's an easy way to do it. I like having the app just because when you start typing something in, if it recognizes it, it'll automatically load it. You don't have to type it all out and deal with that. You can scan the barcode on stuff. But I just think when you have somewhere that's like jotting it down, somewhere where you can look back and see what you ate that day, it makes you more mindful of it. It makes you think about how many calories am I taking in? Am I eating a lot of sugars? And because it kind of makes you take responsibility almost. Whenever I write down when I like eat like a giant cinnamon roll from the bakery, I'm like, holy Jesus. Oh my Jesus. Oh my Jesus. Where did my heart rate just go up to? 100. I'm in this gazebo with netting around it, and this bird just like flew right at me. Oh my god, that was scary. Oh my god, imagine if I got attacked by a bird on this. I would go viral. Finally make some money off of YouTube. Okay, back to the video at hand. But any kind where you're kind of taking responsibility and jotting it down, I think it's just going to keep you more aware of what you're eating. It's going to make you think, oh, like maybe I shouldn't have eaten that, and then the next day maybe you won't go for it because you know you're going to have to write that down, if that makes sense. So I definitely think that's helpful. Also helps you keep track of how much water you're drinking. Sometimes I think I drink like 2 bottles and I drink like half a bottle, but jotting it down is really helpful. The app also helps me with my sleep, and that's something I think is super important. That's one way I really try to stay healthy, is go to bed the same time, wake up the same time, within an hour of each other is what I try to do. I usually try to go to bed between 11 and 12 and wake up between, I want to say 8 and 9, but it's the summer, so 9 and 10. Don't get more than 8.5 hours is my thing. I think if you get more than 8.5 hours, you'll be groggy. I think you get back into like a double cycle of sleep and you're even more groggy than you would be if you just got 8 hours. Anytime I sleep over 8 hours, unless I'm like sick or something, I end up feeling more tired. Obviously, again, depends on the person. Another thing is don't sleep under 7 hours. I think between 7 and 8 hours is the perfect goal, because you wake up feeling refreshed and like you got enough sleep but not overslept. And another thing about the Fitbit app is it tracks your sleep, so it lets me know if I got a good night's sleep, when I actually fell asleep, when I actually woke up, because you might think, okay, I woke up at 8, but you might have actually been awake at 7:30 on your phone, and you might think, okay, I went to bed, turned off the lights at 11:30, but you actually fell asleep at 12:45. So it lets you know about that, lets you know how much light sleep you got, deep sleep, REM sleep, when you woke up throughout the night, and I just find that really helpful. It makes me feel better about knowing what happens while I'm asleep, but it's just like something to be aware of. Okay, when it comes to exercise, that's something I'm not, your guru on. I'm not the one to be giving you advice on exercise, but obviously it depends if you want to be losing weight, if you want to be toned, if you want to go to the gym, things like that. I don't do any of that. My exercise is like 2 to 3 times a week. I'll go for a walk around the neighborhood for 20 minutes, and that seems to be good for me because I don't have to lose weight. Actually, my doctor told me not to exercise, so yeah, I'm not great on that, but I do think just don't go crazy with it. Like, it's fine if you're gonna go to the gym every day and stuff, but I just think if you let your exercise, focusing on health, overwhelm you, it's gonna just drive you nuts, and it's gonna take over your life. And unless it's like you're a fitness Instagrammer or obsessed with fitness and that's your job, I just think if you let it overwhelm you too much and just don't have fun and like enjoy your food and enjoy your exercise, it's not going to be good. I think the best way is to exercise is to get outside. Go for a walk, go to the beach, play volleyball, go for a hike, go for a bike ride. I think those ways, because you're not thinking like, okay, I have to burn this many calories, or okay, I need to tone, it's leg day and arm day. I'm not judging those people who do that, like that's great, but I think if you're just trying to get into being healthy, the best thing you can do is get outside. And I know it's easier in the summer for sure than it will be once in winter. Obviously, it's not so easy to get outside and exercise. Don't think about it as exercising, just think about it as getting out. Even if you go to play like mini golf, you're walking around, you're getting outdoors. I just think that that's the best way to get exercise. I think that you can burn calories and exercise and get your exercise in by doing things that are fun rather than thinking, oh my god, I have to get through this jog, or oh my god, I have to make it another 5 minutes on the treadmill. It's more fun another way. Oh, another thing, I think this is more about skin health, I guess, but I think it's all around healthier. Wash your sheets. I know it sounds gross, like most people would just think, obviously, but anytime I wash my sheets, which is pretty often now, like every week, you just feel so much better, right? And I wash my pillowcase as often as possible. Anytime I'm doing any laundry or someone else in the house is doing laundry, I just throw my pillowcases and my face towel in there. But wash your sheets as often as possible. I know it's so annoying. Like, honestly, one of my least favorite things is making my bed, tucking the fitted sheet off. So annoying. You can see me do it in my vlog recently. I was just like not having it. It's important, just do it. And like, if you don't want to have to wait for everything and not have sheets on your bed, have an extra like cheap pair of sheets that you keep on your bed for a week before you go and do your next load. I just think that having clean sheets and like clean clothes and like being clean on the outside makes your body feel better on the inside. Shower regularly, wash your face. I think all those things add up to, feeling good, looking good. The better you feel on the inside, the better you look on the outside. And if you're happy with how you look on the outside, you're gonna feel better on the inside. That's how I think of it. But I think those are pretty much my top tips for how I stay healthy. It's not even really tips, it's just how I do it. So maybe you learned something, maybe you got some ideas, maybe you'll try something new, maybe you thought I was completely full of BS. But I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe to see more from me, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!